Welcome to Blue Girls Video Podcast. So the first thing, I have dreams of January 2017. But this one, the thing I'm going to tell you now is, it's a vision from the past. That's what it's titled. About 10 years ago, I was walking around Lake Calhoun on a Friday. I had a vision that someone was in my apartment. I saw a Mexican woman and a tall African American man going through my kitchen drawers and bathroom cabinet. Later, I had 3 different people confirm this. One was a shaman, my brother, who is anointed and can pick up things in the spirit. He is very accurate. And a neighbor. So I tried to get back to my place as soon as possible. No one was there. So beginning this month, I was thinking about it, and sure enough, this Friday, a notice was placed in my box on my front door regarding a minor maintenance repair. A couple of other neighbors received one. I have PTSD and hate people coming in my apartment unless they are good friends. It's rare for me to have visions. I usually receive information through my dreams and once in a blue moon in my thoughts. Okay, yeah, so this vision I saw, I was walking around, it's Lake Calhoun. It's called a different lake now. I don't know what it's called now. And I was like, oh, someone's in my apartment. And so that's what I saw. I had a table, and I had my computer or desktop or something, whatever. And I left my journal there, which I never really do. I always put it away somewhere. And so I saw a vision of this Mexican woman who worked at where the rental agency where I was currently living in the dream, and this tall black guy, right? And so anyway, later I had the shaman confirm, and he said they were just kind of trying to see if I was writing anything about the neighbors, which I wasn't. But still, they had no right to do that, right? And so later I did see, I was like, okay, I don't remember this black guy. He's really tall, and I don't, in my vision that I saw, and it's like, well, I don't remember seeing him in the rental area. I don't, and then later, eventually, I did see him. He was very tall. So anyway, that's what, it wasn't a dream, it was a vision, which I rarely have. France. France's Justice. My first dream of France. This dream was very surreal. I thought it was France, but not sure. I knew it was a foreign country. I just remember going outside and seeing an army of horses charging in a western direction on an open lawn, the French Revolution. So it was titled France's Justice. I don't know why it was called that. It was called something else. But anyway, I've only had one dream of France. And then I've had dreams of, French women. So that was the dream. January 28th, 2017, restaurant. This girl is at a counter by herself. It seems like someone is imposing restrictions. Then a woman is walking to a restaurant in possibly a woodsy environment. It reminds me of Bainbridge Island, but it doesn't have that rich look. She sits down at a wooden table. No one is in the restaurant. In the cooking area, there is a piece of bread that is partially black, burnt. This one woman wants to leave for the summer, possibly sublet our room. She wants to stay with her mom for a week, then the next someone else. Okay, so in Washington, there's Bremerton and Bainbridge Island, and Bainbridge Island is more ritzy. So it might be Bremerton Island, but I don't know why I wouldn't state that. But anyway, that's the dream. Okay, so this dream is looks like me. I have several dreams like this. Looks like me, talks like me, whatever. January 29th, 2017. This young woman with black curled hair who looks like me was at her friend's apartment. She had two electric bikes, one smaller than the other, that she was charging in the bedroom. Also, she had a baby daughter who had blue eyes and blonde hair. She also had several plastic dolls. She didn't ask her friend permission to do something, and this upset the friend. She should have asked. Yeah, so there was a while I was having a dream about a girl with dark hair who looked like me, English looking, and she would curl it. So I vaguely remember this. I fell back asleep. This woman was getting her hair cut and eyebrows waxed at a school for students. She approached the counter and a Mexican woman was there with a walkie-talkie. She was first in the waiting line to be serviced. She had a yellow check with a man's handwriting filled in it at the payee. Her hair was wet and she went downstairs. Okay. Cuts. Clear. This woman is sitting in a classroom with two boy students and two light-colored hair overweight women. The two women are sitting at a table in front of the woman, and one of the boys is sitting next to the woman and the other behind her. She has a magazine picture of a woman's face who has 1950s style hair. The woman seems to be already have the picture cut out, and then she cuts her neck with the scissors that people are sharing. The boy behind her seems to be upset about something, so she turns around to talk to him to calm him down. Okay, so now we are in February 2017 dreams, and the first one is overflow. There are three people in their apartment. One is an overweight African American man in the kitchen, an older semi-gray hair thin man sitting on his bed in his bedroom. There also is a woman in her mid-20s with long brown wavy hair with brown eyes who is pretty. Another woman is surprised because this woman wants to drive to New York as a trip. A thought in dream came to my mind that I haven't been to New York since 1992 and we must see the Statue of Liberty. Also, the toilet overflowed 3 times. Doctor. Okay, so that's true. This is 2017. I had not been to New York since 92. I was there once, and I did see the Statue of Liberty. Me and my big sister, and we climbed all those stairs all the way up to the crown. So I don't know if you can even do that now. This was before 9/11, so I would love to go to New York again. I do remember this trip very well. I just watched the movie Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt, so maybe it is inspired this dream. It may not be New York, but it could be somewhere else. Also, the Statue of Liberty may symbolize justice. Okay, so the next dream is Utah. We're in February. Okay. A woman sees some guy as she is walking on campus. The college covers most of the block and she wants to get to some building for her class. She opens a door to a room full of students. There also is a bench that has different colored cloth on it. She is sleeping in a really small dorm with 2 other female roommates. It kind of reminds me of the hostel I stayed in San Francisco. She received a message on a piece of torn paper on both sides. I really can't see what is written, but writing looks like a female. One woman is from Utah and is talking about Bryce Canyon National Park, something about a rock. Later, she takes a donut and a cookie from some donuts in a box. Later, she gives a roommate $5 bill and a couple of ones. Later, she is in a car with 2 females and a male in the back seat. So this is 2017, and I went to, for the first time, Utah in 2022. So I was just kind of looking to see if there was anything that was that was similar. I do want to go to Bryce Canyon National Park. There's another national park that's out there. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I want to go to the ones with the pinnacles. I guess it's really pretty in the sunrise. You can see the pinnacles and stuff, I think. So, birdie. A woman is walking in an open area, possibly a warehouse. She looks like a friend of a friend. A white girl is with her friend and gives another girl the birdie from across the room. Another girl looks like Christina Aguilera. Then there is a yard full of dog shit all over the yard. Loads of cash. Well, it looks like my dreams are coming back. It looks like I had a dry spell in January, which happens from time to time. Honestly, most of my dreams, or the dreams that I remember and very surreal, were in the Pacific Northwest, and then when I moved to the Southwest, they're more vague. So the dream, there are at least 25 Mexican and Hispanic guys sitting at a long rectangular table, possibly in someone's house. 2 women are sitting at a table, and one woman gives the other woman loads of rolled up cash from across the table. This looks like a lot of money. I'm not for sure on the amount, but hundreds, 100,000 or 100 bills in the thousands. Later, this woman is at a house with children. They're a girl. She has a candy necklace in a small plastic bag. She tells this young, cool-looking girl that as a teenager they didn't have the internet. The girl thought it would be more peaceful without it. She wanted to walk to a town and ask the girl information. It was about 10 miles away. It seems she is staying there for free and wants to take a trip for around $500. Also, the front door of the house had a glass window at the bottom, so she can see people's lower legs and feet. Yeah, so this dream I actually kind of remember. I just remember there was a long rectangular table and there was all these Mexican guys like sitting there. And whatever, there was like all this rolled up cash. So I don't know what they were doing or where exactly they were. But it was a lot of money. That's what I remember. Well, I didn't have the internet. Well, we just kind of just started having the internet when I was in high school. But it's nothing like, of course, these young kids now. Okay, so on April 25th, 2017, I overheard someone in my small town mention about inheriting 100,000 from someone who passed away. Piles of cars. There is a pile of cars parked close to each other on a lawn. A man goes into one of the cars and is looking for something. Then there are about 4 students at the medical clinic at their school. A woman is crawling on her knees in an office. She also has a gallon of milk. Update. Losing Hope in U.S. Migrants Make Icy Crossing to Canada by Catherine. I'm not going to do that. That's just something I added for the thing. Warrior. What? There's this woman who looks like the character of the Warrior Princess. I have had a dream about her once before. Anyway, she looks really happy. She is helping someone with exercise. Then she is sitting at a table with several African American women, all of them dressed like they have money. A fight. A security guard witnesses a fight break out between a group of guys at possibly a bus stop. A woman enters the depot by pulling a handle, and then she is first in the line to wait for a bus. Then there are possibly 3 women sleeping in one bed. Again, an old woman, another woman, next to her, and a third woman. is sleeping on the edge of the bed. Later at night, while a woman is walking, she takes a picture of the night sky. Oh, then something strange. While I was asleep, I remember hearing a knock on the door. Also, I remember giving someone a kiss or vice versa, like a goodnight kiss. All right, so this next dream is titled 1900s. Then this dream seems to be different era, possibly early 1900s. It was vivid, but when I woke, I forgot most of it. Anyway, a woman was in her place and a couple of children, possibly boys, were in another room, taking care of themselves. They seemed to be under age 5. It was a strange dream. It just seemed to be a different era, a lifetime ago or even a past life. So I don't really remember this dream, but sometimes like if I have dreams of a different era, it's kind of cool because I'm researching my ancestry and I've had a couple of dreams that were from a different lifetime. So that's kind of interesting. I don't recognize any of the people in the dream, but that's kind of cool for that to happen, I think, anyway. Okay, sidekick. The same woman from the recent entry Warrior on February 4th, 2017, she based her decision on someone's name. Later, her sidekick is around. Girl riding bike. All that I can remember about this dream is a girl riding around on her bike. A woman didn't call me back. Then I was thinking about what a friend told me some years ago. He told me that I would have a son and that my brother tried to impose his religious beliefs on him. That's true. He did tell me that. I never had a son. I always thought like I was supposed to adopt, and that never came to pass because, you got to have a good paying job for that. Pass the mental health one. well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about that. U-turn. These two young women are on bikes. They make a U-turn onto a trail. I am sensing that one girl is a huge bitch. One girl was asleep, walking, and called someone an asshole, but doesn't remember it. Then two women are in a room, and a woman asks, "Can you hear me?" One says yes, and the other doesn't reply. Okay. Downtown city. Last night, as I was trying to fall asleep, an invisible entity sucked air out of my mouth for a few seconds, so I changed positions on the couch. On February 12th, a high school friend of mine tried to get a hold of me because her father has terminal cancer. Okay, this is February 13th, 2017. She was at her parents' house because her father wasn't doing too good. He died. We both share the same birthday. Him and her father, we have the same birthday. There was one other time around May 15th, 2015, that a woman also died, also same birthday as mine. Yes, that was trippy. She had the same birthday, but a different year. She was like 15 years younger than me. So, like, when her father passed away on February 12th, I forgot the date, but I could sense his last breath. It was like, I don't know, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But there was a time in which there was some entity or whatever it was trying to steal like my breath, like take it. It was going on for a little bit. I don't remember how long, but that was kind of strange. Mayday, Mayday. On December 2nd, 2017, I thought, they are hiding something. Then on February 2nd, 2017, I heard from my cousin. My cousin and her family and my brother are planning to take a trip on March 28th for 3 days, and my brother wants to stay a week. So I think that someone was supposed to contact me this month regarding an apartment. So this means that I would have to give my notice on February 28th, which means I would vacate on March 28th. Need to find 3 days until April Fool's Day. So my point is that instead of the person contacting me for an apartment, I heard from my cousin instead. That seemed to happen usually when an opportunity is stolen. Also, a couple of months back, someone knocked on my door with some bogus question that came from a previous residence. More lies. Also, something with a big E on the 16th of this month. Some of these things that I write are weird. I'm kind of noticing that I probably shouldn't write them in there if it's not a dream. And then I should, say the dream and then whatever. Comments or whatever about. But anyway, so sometimes I think I write things because I think it's similar to some kind of dream or whatever. Grocery cart. There is a man who is pushing around a grocery cart in the halls of his apartment complex. There's a room for storage and he picks up a couple of items. Also, I heard someone trying to open a door knob. Topless. All I can remember about this dream is that my longtime friend's girlfriend is walking around in their apartment topless. It is cold there right now in the Midwest, so do not know why she would be walking around like this in their place. Firstly and fifthly. Okay, this is February 19, 2017. A lot of activity going on in this dream. I mean, I went everywhere to all sorts of places. None I have ever seen in my waking life. I slept most of the day and kept waking up with small dream segments. Firstly, I see an odd reddish tint color building on a corner that has an electronic phone number sign on the front. So some guy wants to get this number. I'm not for sure what kind of building this was, business or whatever, but the architecture was like older, like 1900s to 1950s. Secondly, several elderly people were sitting around a table at like a senior center, at a community center. A younger woman sitting there tries to physically budge her body, but is unable to do it. Like she is physically stuck, and this causes her to start losing it. Thirdly, this woman is sitting next to her brother and will temporarily pay him 30%, or maybe it is on the 30th. Then she is walking down an alley, and the buildings surrounding her are dumpy looking. She comes to a building in front of her that has several retail stores inside of it, possibly a mini mall. Fourthly, a man writes on a piece of paper a code like in only large capital letters. Capital X, capital ZY dash PHZ dash WHY. I cannot remember the actual letter because I just saw a glimpse of them. Fifthly, there are three women. A woman with short red hair who is looking down and cannot see her face in the stream. Another woman who can see her from only behind is limping her left foot. In real life, my left foot was causing me some problems recently. Then there is an African American toddler in the room. Hey, Pooh. Happy to be there. A young woman is real happy. She is walking in an area that has an ocean or sea to her right. She is walking straight and she sees a bus stop sign in either yellow or blue. There are cute little stores someplace that I have not been, but I have had in dreams and forgot about it. The view, seems to change of possibly of someone on a boat. This woman cannot recall all these places she has lived. Port Townsend and another port close by in real life. When she is outside, she also has a stack of loose leaf college ruled paper that she starts writing on in pencil. She seems to be happy to be there. Also, there's a boy around in the area. Big toe. All I remember of this boring dream, and I do not know why I was having this dream, but a man was clipping the toenail of his left big toe of his left foot. That was it. I did have a previous dream entitled Cuts, so maybe it is similar to this dream. While I was asleep, I woke to what felt like a bug crawling at my right big toe. I tossed the sheet and covers aside and shook them to get rid of the bug, but I did not see any kind of bug. Sometimes spiders and crickets slip in under the doors. Okay. Cuts. Okay, so, I actually did have this 2022, I did have an injury to my left toe in real life. Fitful sleep. For the last week and a half, I have been having fitful sleeping. I keep waking up and making a sound like I am irritated. I do not recall any recent nightmares, so maybe I am subconsciously picking something up that may be occurring in my environment and is manifesting when I am asleep. Maybe around this time, I start having issues with the bathroom sensory that goes on automatically with the too much strain. Well, It hasn't been working properly, and due to my PTSD, I am sensitive to noise. Maybe it is going on while I'm asleep. Well, here is my dream. There was a party in the dream in the beginning that I cannot recall. Then there is a young couple who are walking next to a creek on their right with brown water. Okay, so this is the last dream of February 2017. It's titled College Kids. There is an ethnic-looking guy in this dream. A young woman has an X-Acto knife in its package. Later, she goes out to eat with her girlfriend and has money, so she orders whatever she wants. She writes a money order with a long payee. At night, a guy is walking around his neighborhood. My oldest cousin's daughter, who I met once, appears in this dream. She is a nurse, married, and has 2 sons and lives in Virginia. Maybe someone with her name or looks like her will appear in my life. Also, not to be a drag, but have had dreams of knives, 2 X-Acto knives, which is used for artistic purposes, and subliminal message of knife. So this may mean some kind of danger. I have had dreams of people with knives and guns, but it has been years. Okay, well, thanks for watching, man.